you guys? How you going? How's it going? I thought I'd go live today because why not? I am. I'm not really that tired, but I am kind of tired. But I just thought I would go ahead and go live for a bit because I'm not going to be able to in the next few days. I've got to do a lot of work. And I do have something on my mind, so I figured I would. I don't know how long I can go because I've been having massive digestive issues today. Love to put that on blast, but I think I'm, I had a lot of potassium earlier and, oh, hey, Miriam. Yeah, so I've been having to go to the bathroom a lot, which is really scarring because I had potassium and I think I was really bloated from having a lot of candy over the past week. But if I keep having to go to the bathroom 500 times, I might actually not be SMO tomorrow, which is crazy. So I do want to talk about that a little bit today because it's like, holy crap. Hello, Miriam. I'm not sure if I've seen you in here. And then I do want to do I might do a little bit of gardening or something during this time, but we've got some things to talk about. And I'm on British time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to the next 2 days. Oh, okay. I know who you are then. I remember your username now. Hello, Bubble. I'm freezing, by the way. I'm completely freezing. I am so hypo. I'm deep in the winter. It is just difficult. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely have lost. It's really weird because I gained so much weight over December and then I lost like almost all of it in January. And then now I've lost, I lost around 7 pounds in February. But we'll see. Because I keep having to go to the bathroom tonight, I might actually lose more tomorrow. So I think I'm going to at least be 298 tomorrow. I might not be. But if I could get to like 297, if I somehow pull that out of my ass, I don't think I'm going to be SMO anymore. Because I was doing calculations, and if I'm around 296, 297, I don't think that I will be super morbidly obese. Like based on my body fat percentage and, these types of things that I look at, I won't be there anymore. And admittedly, the chart that I have is kind of strict because it counts everything above 17% as overweight, which is kind of insane. But I'm going like super strict with my numbers because I feel like a lot of numbers in America are so inflated where like weight is so drastically higher here that we're told that certain weights are normal. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. Some people might not consider me SMO now, but I do. I think 40% body fat is really, really high for a man. But I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think about that because I've had certain debates. At least traditional American BMI, I would still, yeah, I'm sure, Bubble. I'm sure traditional American BMI, I wouldn't be SMO. But I am still MO, even though my BMI is under 40 now because I have prediabetes. So I still have some conditions tied to my obesity. So I'd have to get probably under 35. I don't don't feel like you give obese at all. I'm definitely still obese. I think that's sweet, but let me show you. I consider this obese for sure. This is obese, but this is like not necessarily an American obese, even though that doesn't make sense. But if I were to go anywhere else in the world, they would be like, holy shit, let's line up the fucking circus, you know? But by American standards, you're kind of right, Miriam. You know, by American standards, I'm really not that big. Yeah, if I go somewhere else, like if I were to go to Japan or Korea, like South Korea, oh my God, everybody would want to take a picture with me. They'd be like, oh my gosh, look at this fat person. Oh my God. So I still consider, you know, but I go by like the hard facts numbers. Yeah, I would be very tall and very fat. But when I was even bigger, oh my God, I was like sumo wrestler levels of fatness, which I'm going to make a video soon where I show my, yeah, I could see that too, Bubble, but still, I'm still way too big. I think that I would definitely consider, I don't know. Yeah, I'm considering, or I'm going to make a video reacting to some of my hugely fat videos or like hugely fat footage that I have of myself because I forget. Not to me though. I feel like visually obese is like the roundness of it all. You give like more vertical lines. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense, I think, from an American perspective, for sure. From an American perspective, I'm not huge. I'm just big. That's kind of how I would describe myself at this point because I'm not that big. Like if you look at like fat acceptance activists and those types of people, I'm nowhere near as big as them now. But I used to be. I was huge. Let me see if I can show you guys. I've been showing Bot. I was sending Bot some of the pictures tonight. But I'm always paranoid of like schmorn or something being on my phone. So I'm really scared to show my phone. So I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, hugely fat. That is a huge fat ass bitch. Okay. This is 2021. Back in that point, I had like really, really no muscle. So I had been, you know, sitting catatonic basically on a couch all of 2020. So I had like zero muscle. I don't think you can really see it all that great, but I don't even have that much of an ass and it's all gut. It's like drastic. And hello, John. Hello, John. They make those body scanners that make into an action figure of you. Oh my God, that's so funny. But the progress is really amazing. Just seeing your problematic body check profile as the shape is so much different now. Yes, it is. It's hugely different. And I still have streams because I used to stream on my other channel, as you guys know. I don't know if you know, but my other channel used to just be hodgepodge whatever. And then I finally chose a niche. And now this is my hodgepodge whatever, or mostly my streaming channel. But I literally, like, I have streams where I was so huge. And it's like crazy. That's why I do want to make a video where I'm reacting to it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miriam. I do want to make a video where I'm reacting to it just because like it's so weird to like, I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know. Ugh. It's so weird. By the way, I love this picture. That's like a weird AI of Taylor Swift and what's her face? Greta. I think that one was sent to me by Sam. Sam is He has a lot of funny Taylor Swift memes that he sends me. Honestly. Oh yeah, for sure. It is a big moment to be in the twos, for sure. Um, it's just blunted a bit because I got into the twos back in October, and then of course the seasonal thing and all that. I blew up like a balloon, but then it came back down. But now it's like I can move forward. I can finally start moving forward. Oh, gosh. I mean, I think it's weird. Obviously, I don't think it's ethical to do that kind of thing, but at the same time, it kind of is what it is. I know that that's terrible to say, but it's a reality. Like, I would feel better if somebody had drawn it, I guess. It's weird. It's like, it doesn't make sense. But there's people that have photoshopped it. Like, it's not really a new thing. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I don't think it's good necessarily. It's like kind of inevitable, if that makes sense. Like, I think just in general, there'll always be somebody that sexualizes you. Like, if somebody's attracted to you, they're going to think of you that way. I think all of us have fantasized about people, you know? So it's like, I don't know. But I understand why she's upset about it. And I also think, like, maybe it gets to be too good or too convincing. And so it's weird. And maybe we could regulate AI with that. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I don't care that much about AI. I'm not like a huge fan. Um, that's kind of my thoughts in general. When did you start watching Bubble? I'm curious. Everyone that has that peak and valley aspect to their weight journey, it's part of the process. Yeah, I mean, especially from a seasonal aspect, as far as like being hypo and all that, it's a huge part of it. Like, seasonality is major, and people don't ever consider that. And that's why I think it's a psyop that weight loss month is January, because it's like one of the worst times to start trying to lose weight. It's so arduous. Like, doing this caloric deficit over January and February has been so horrible and so difficult compared to like May, where it was really, really easy. So I think people just don't realize how different it actually feels. And I think it's because seasons change really slowly. So we don't notice like how different it really is. But because even for me, I keep thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm freaking dying. Like, will I ever get better? I keep thinking like, will this ever get better? I'm so hypo. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, it's winter. And so I'm like, okay, we're still in winter. So I have to remind myself that a lot of times, because I'm like, I'm doing so much better throughout this winter than any other winter. Absolutely. But it's still like, I just want fucking spring. I fucking hate winter. It's so hard. I would love it if I could actually enjoy winter next year. That would be amazing, because I haven't been able to enjoy winter in a very long time. It's been truly horrible since like 2020, I would say. Just even 2019, that winter, like going into 2020, December 2019, going into January of 2020, it was really bad. And then the year after that, it was like the worst ever. And then I've been slowly climbing my way back every year. It's really hard. I started watching shortly after you made this channel, I think. Oh, okay, so you started around October. Okay. Oh yeah, you haven't seen it that long then. That's interesting. I mean, as far as the journey. Okay. I found a tea that's helping me lose weight right now. Is a mixture of peppermint and senna. Okay. Interesting. There will have to be new laws with AI identity laws once video gets too convincing. Politicians and justice system is always way behind the technology. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Bubble. Oh my gosh. Yes, and it can be so hard because it's like you put in so much work, but it's never any instant gratification with weight loss. Yeah. I agree. I mean, especially from a super morbid obese standpoint, because I have noticed, like, as I'm getting closer to being just Mo, it is easier. It's getting easier. Like, even though it's difficult and arduous to do this in the winter, it's still possible. I still can. Like, to put it into perspective, we can look at the numbers. I can get all like technical in here because that's what we do. So if we look at 2023, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see the chart, right? So this number is January 29th. I was 347. I was trying to lose weight again from my, look, love how messed up my screen is. I was trying to lose weight again in 2023. And in February, I went from 347 on January 29th to, at the end of February, 358. So I gained about 10 pounds last February. And then I had to like slowly, at the end of March, I got to 354. So I hadn't even gone back down to 347 by the end of March. Okay. It took me till the end of April to get down to 346. And then if we look further, going into the future, it kept going down. So fat activists say, if you lose weight, you'll gain it all back. So if you look at my journey, you see this part. The very beginning is 2022 from August. Then it went up in December, down in January, back up in February. So most fat activists, they only do that first part of the journey, and then they would just continue to gain. I continued. 2023, man, pretty wild. So if you look at this, my scale didn't register it. It only measured as 305 in January. But if you look at the actual numbers, you can see when I finally weighed myself. This is October 25th of 2023, 299. January 1st, 228 or 328. So you can see I actually put on a huge amount of weight, but I lost it so fast the scale doesn't register it because it's water. So that's the way it looks. It's crazy. So, and then this February, so at the end of January, I went from 131, 305 on 131 of this year to the end of February, 299, around the end, 225. So I lost almost 7 pounds, which is totally typical. It's a very typical weight loss number. I typically will lose between 7 and 9 pounds every month. So I lost a little bit less than 7. And so even with it being winter, and if you think about how much earlier it was than last year, it's really, really interesting. So super interesting. Is that a laxative? That's so funny. Is a medication used to treat constipation? Oh, that's funny. That's really interesting to see the documentation of the fluctuation. Yeah, so I have multiple years. So it's because most FAs, so if you think about like a fat acceptance activist, right? Your typical fat acceptance activist arc would be this. I'm going to start losing weight in January. I'm going to go down a bit. Oh my God. Oh, it's February. Oh, I gained all the weight back. See, that's your typical FA arc. But if you actually look at seasonality, you can see first part of summer, it slows and stops in fall, gain in winter, then go down at the end of winter, go down the whole year until the fall. then go up again, then go down again, even earlier, because you actually get healthier. And this is with avoiding seed oils, which we talk about a lot. But if you keep avoiding seed oils over time, your metabolism improves. And as long as you're very active, I am very active as well, you also put on muscle. So it prevents you from actually gaining back actual fat. You just gain back water in the winter. But yes, it's completely demoralizing. And my weight did stop. I didn't lose anything from October until February. So I think it's really easy to think I'm going to, I have to give up, or what was working isn't working anymore. My body's changed. Oh, this isn't it anymore. I'm stuck. No, it's all bullshit. You're not stuck. It's seasonal factors. You're hypo. And this is from a SMO perspective. I think once you're not in that, especially when you just get into obese, you could probably still lose in the winter, but it's just a little bit of a slowdown. It's not as dramatic. But when you're super morbidly obese, those fluctuations can be really drastic. And people don't understand that. So they just think, it's not working. I have to give up. It isn't a thing. I'm demoralized. And I was demoralized, but I can just push past it because I know it's a bunch of bullshit. So, but that's what it takes, Winter gaslights you. Winter is gaslighting. I got an anti-inflammatory cookbook. Almost every recipe has seed oils in it. Yeah, that's great. Really great. What would you do to me if I controlled the weather and made every month February? I would hate you, but December and February are the hardest times to diet. Those are like the two death knells of diets. I think most people struggle during those times. And I think it's because of how the seasons are. That's what I've noticed is those 2 months are extremely difficult for most people. Especially December. That one's probably the worst. That one's probably the worst. But it's actually easier in January. So I think January is probably like a government psyop as a weight loss time because it is actually easier because you're usually so adrenal or so like messed up in winter. You have like this this little tiny boost after the winter solstice. And then it goes on and then you get into February and you're just like, I want to eat the whole house. That's what happens. That's what happens to a lot of people. I want to eat the whole house. And then, yeah, that's why I keep saying, that's why I tell people start in March, start in July, start in August, start in those times. Like the year that I started losing, I started in August. That's when your body's strongest. Your metabolism is super revved up during that time. You're the least likely to bloat. So you can see your progress and it's very encouraging at that time. So it's like, I think people just don't think about that aspect at all. I mean, you can lose weight whenever. It's just you're going to be hungrier in December. You will be. I also feel like many people go into weight loss with the intent to fail. Like they don't actually think they can do it and they let themselves self-sabotage. Yeah. I'd say it's really like hunger. So like they're not eating correct foods, or they're eating a lot of seed oils, right? Or a lot of, they're cooking in seed oils. They're doing these types of things and then they're avoiding all saturated fats. So if you do that, you're going to be very hungry. And then they probably avoid sugar or avoid carbs in general. You're going to be very tired without that, especially as a very fat person. So it's like you're very hungry and you're very tired. So that's a huge barrier to weight loss. And usually people are eating salads with seed oil dressing, which is probably one of the worst weight loss foods ever. Okay. It's to the point where I feel like it's actually a psyop, like it's something designed to make you fail. because it ultimately makes you hungrier. Um, and then other than that, people start to lose weight and the hormones get weird. And you start to doubt yourself and you start to feel depressed or sad or angry. And people don't like that. So then they'll be like, well, I'm just going to eat because I just want to feel normal again. So that's another aspect of why a lot of people give up. So I'd say those two reasons are the biggest reasons why people quit. Because the emotional side or psychological side, from a super morbidly obese perspective, there's really not there's not as much of an escape from it. So it's kind of like you kind of just have to deal, and I'm honest about it. I talk about how awful it is. I'm realistic about how tough it is from a psychological perspective, but it's because the fat on your body is toxic. And so it makes you feel worse as it's being burned. It's really awful. It's a horrible situation to be in. It's so difficult. Um, it's so difficult. So that's why people fail. And then a lot of people too, they try to be very adrenal. And by that, I mean, they're like, I'm going to lose this weight to get revenge. I'm going to lose this weight because I hate my ex and fuck everybody else. Like a lot of people go into weight loss for those reasons. And it's usually not sustainable, especially from a super morbidly obese perspective, because you're already so stressed. So if you try to lose weight through stress, you will end up quitting almost every time. So that's another reason why people give up. So I don't think that they're trying to fail. I think that it's just those factors are factors that most people are completely unaware of, as well as the winter gaslighting side. So it's like even if you do it and you do it perfectly, as a super morbidly obese person, you're likely to put on water weight in the winter, and it's going to freak you out because then you feel like you're doing it for nothing, and then people quit. So, like, if I were to just have a typical FA response, right? So let's put on my hat. I would have looked at December when I gained 30 pounds and I would have said, wow, this diet isn't working anymore. I'm just going to give up. My body isn't going to go lower than 300. It's over. I'm done. It's too bad. And that's it. I tried, but I just couldn't keep the weight off. It just came on so easily. And so then I would just start eating a lot, right? Then you just eat and eat and eat. And then over time, the water weight, you go to spring, the water weight goes down, the fat goes up, and then you stay the same. That's what happens. It happens all the time. All the time. Samara is so annoying to me. I can't. She triggers me. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Does she have a podcast? I'm trying to find fat acceptance podcasts to react to. So Tracy does have a podcast because I would love to respond. Like, I'd love to watch one of those because I know that they exist because Not David is like all over them. But I'm like, where are they? Because all I've known is maintenance phase. But it's like, I want more. Call me Ariel, but I want more. So I don't know. I need to look at Tracy Turnblad because she would never have me on her podcast. Oh my gosh. The thing with me is I don't think most people in the fat acceptance or even anti-FA space will have me on their channel because there's something about me. I'm literally going to be the gayest person ever. So I just need you to like deal with the fact that I'm gayer than anyone else in the world. But it has to do with the fact that I have Pluto in my first house. And when you have that, it makes you a very like destabilizing person, or like people look at you a certain way and they're like, whoa, what? And so people just are not going to have me on their channel because they feel that they can't trust me or that I'm going to like attack them or something, or they're like threatened. or they just think I'm irrelevant, right? There's just all these different reasons. So I don't think I'll ever be doing collabs unless if they felt they had something to gain from collabing with me. So like if I already had a lot of viewership, then people would want to, which maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. But that's kind of how I see it. The only person I feel like would possibly have me on their channel is probably the Body Honesty Project, because she's not like a scared person. I don't know how else to say that, but she's just like, to me, she's very extroverted and she'll talk with anybody. But if I think about literally anybody else in the anti-FA space, none of them would have me. I don't think any of them would. Because a lot of people in the anti-FA space, they're really worried about how they're perceived. And I'm less worried about it. So I don't take it personally because I understand, but that's what I think it is. So, and then obviously FAs would never have me on there because I would actually challenge what they have to say. And so they would never have me. So, yeah. I think you have to be kind of like a stronger person to have me on your channel, or like somebody who's not easily scared because of that Pluto energy. I think it's kind of scary to people. So, whatever. It's fine. It's totally fine. I also am not extroverted either, so it's not like I would be super forthcoming or super easy. It's like I'm kind of like, so I think that's an element too. But I could not ever imagine a world where I was like on the Cynical Dude's channel, where I was on Not David's channel. I could never even imagine it. I would obviously never be on what's her face? I forgot her name. But I literally said I didn't like her. So I'm never going to be on her channel. I can't even remember her name. So that's great. And then some of the girlies, like Sam at Every Size, I don't think she ever does collabs, but I don't think she would because our politics are not the same. And I think her politics are like the most important thing in the world to her. And that's probably the same with Kyla as well. So, and then Star San, I have like slight, like very, very tiny, but slight history with, where I've argued with her on Twitter before, and she probably remembers who I am. So she would never have me on there. I think she would have if that hadn't happened. Does that make sense? I also think Michelle McDaniel might have me on her channel if I was relevant enough. So I have to be relevant. And then I think there is a pathway for Michelle too. So there are some people that I think it could happen, but there just has to be certain, like I said, in my opinion, there has to be a certain level of toughness in a person. Just because of that Pluto energy. I think it's like I said, it's a little like, I don't know how to describe it. I know you've said you don't want to go on TikTok because would you go crazy viral if you tweeted Fierce Fat Femme or something and checked her and she would take the bait and go back? I don't think she would. They block everybody. I think they would just block me. That's all they would do. They would just block, 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 because it's that Pluto energy. It's like people don't mess with it. I only had one fat activist try to come after me. That was Fat Sophic Bro. And they only did it once. And because of the way that I responded, I don't think they would ever do it again because it didn't hurt my feelings. I wasn't upset and I used it. And so they're probably like, I will never do that again. Because, I don't know. I just can't see. I mean, there probably will be a day, like if I get relevant enough, then I could see Samira making a video about me or something. I could see something like that, but I'm just not relevant. And I also haven't lost enough weight to be truly threatening. I know I've lost a lot, but in the eyes of fat acceptance people and fat people, I'm still fat. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't matter. It's like, you're still a fat ass. That's how they see me. So they're not threatened. I think they could become more threatened the more weight that I lose. So that could happen towards summer, towards fall, right, of this year. I could see something happening. But yeah, I just think it's a weird thing. Yeah, a lot of people can get worried about water energy. I agree. I agree. I think it's the Scorpio. It's intense, right? It's an intense energy. I understand it. I totally understand it. I am a Slytherin as well. Slytherin is scary. So I'm a little scary because I'm not like, I don't know how to describe it, but if they did that though, it'd be cool if they did again though. Yeah, it was great. But it's because I was defending. Oh, somebody who might is the hidden channel. I have a good relationship with her. Like we're very friendly with each other. I think we both like each other's channels. But she doesn't, she's very introverted, and I don't know if she would do a collab, but I would love to. I'd love to collab with her. I don't think she'd be scared or anything. It's just that's the other thing too. A lot of the girlies and boilies in anti-FA are introverted. I totally get it. I am too. So, you know, it's just the odds of me working with another introvert are kind of low because it's like neither one of us would ever initiate. And even if I initiated, if they were like, oh, I don't know, da da da, I would never push again, right? It's just that thing. I feel like people very unfamiliar with FA space is able to recognize that person as a general meme. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah, that's my thoughts on like collabs and stuff. So in the vast future, in the wildest dreams, there may be a moment where I might work with Michelle McDaniel. But that would be like I'd have to have made it somewhat. So I may get there, but I'm not there. And I have been critical of Michelle before. I don't think she minds it because she's tough, but I think that she would like be like, okay, if you're gonna be like that, then you gotta really lose the weight, and then maybe, or you gotta really have clout. It's like certain things I've done where it's like I have to really be at a certain level for me to be on there because they're like, you know, that's kind of the attitude people have with me. They're like, and that's in general. So yeah. Yeah, it's because I'm the bad one. Why am I the bad one? Because I say carbs aren't evil, right? I say certain things that break the mold of anti-FA, and I do focus on hormones. And a lot of anti-FA is about willpower, calories in, calories out, which I do not deny. I just talk about better strategies to utilize willpower, like utilize your willpower towards the spring. It's the best time. For example, because I acknowledge that we don't always have willpower all the time. They don't like that. So there's those reasons. And I do talk badly about keto and vegan, and people take that very personally. So there's just a lot of reasons. I don't blame them. I'm not bitter about it. I'm not weird about it. I'm just breaking it down with you, basically. I think it's a matter of finding the right formula. Oh, I appreciate that, Miriam. I love you because you're quite nuanced and so real and funny, and just real. Other anti-FA people tend to be too corny or just say platitudes. That could be true. I think some people do good work. They do. But I think I just have my role. You know, I have my what I'm doing within it, and it's more of a movement to me, or it's just like I'm just showing how it's done, and I'm showing it and going in deep and trying to educate people who have never been that way as to what it's like, and even help other fat people understand what they're going through. Because I have had comments and DMs and things like that where people tell me, I never knew about the estrogen thing. I always experienced that and I didn't know what it was. I'm so glad you told me. You know, so it's like people really do appreciate it because it's very real. But people don't know. And it's like I can give a word or a structure and describe what is occurring, because these are barriers that make people give up. And if you can get past all the barriers, then you can get there, and so that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And obviously, my credibility will continue to grow the more weight that I lose. So that's a situation that will only improve. But we can go it alone. We can. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm introverted. I don't care. Yes, I don't think Michelle would take that personally at all. I think her focus would be that your weight loss is lending validity and support to our raw message. Yes, I agree. I also think too that, she's a businesswoman. It would have to be profitable. There'd have to be some real reason there. I do think it would be a little harder just because I haven't kissed the ring with her, you know? So that's tough. And I understand it because it's very brutal on YouTube and people can turn on people and they get all nasty and whatever. And for me, it's like I have my criticisms, but overall, I'm very much about this issue. So it's like I'm not actually against anybody. And the person I said I didn't like is Megan Ann. I just remembered. I'm not against her. I just hated that she politicized the space by saying, don't follow conservative anti-FAs or don't follow this political orientation's takes on this issue. That is politicizing the space. It was horrible, but it's not about her personally. It's about what she did. And then I think for me personally, she's a little bit too soft on the issue, just too soft. I need a little bit more of like, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's the same thing with Alan. Alan is like the opposite. So I don't watch Alan either. It's no hate towards them as people. I think they're great, right? I think anybody who's trying to help this issue, I think is at least somewhat of a good person, right? But the type of rhetoric that he does, it's too harsh. It's too much the other way. So it's like you have too hot, too cold, and I try to be in the middle on my channel. And that's what I want. Because for me, it's not about like judging and shaming everybody. It's not about making excuses. It's about getting it done and understanding there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And you throw it all together. You do a stage dive, Taylor Swift style on the Eras tour, and you hope that you get through. And that's how it is to get out of SMO. It's a lot. It's like a whole ass ritual. It's a ritual, a hope, and a prayer, and a stage dive. That's how you get out. But I'm almost out. So I've done it. I'm almost there, you guys. So I'm proving it. We're doing it, And holy shit, has it been hard. Can I just say it's been a fucking battle. It's taken me almost 2 years. Or no. Yeah, it'll be 2 years in August since I started actively losing weight. So it's taken me 1.5 years to get out of SMO. That's hard. It's very, very tough. And it's actually easier. Like I'm finding it becoming easier to lose weight because I'm getting out of that zone. So yeah. Alan is too much for me too. Yes, that was annoying when Megan Ann said that. Yes, it was. Alan is too much for me too, even though I can't with Samira. I couldn't watch this video on her. It was way too mean. My feelings were hurt for her. I can't with the man going after women like that. Yeah. I understand it. Like, for me, I just find that Alan stresses me out. Like when I watch him, it's stressful. Like when I watch Not David is funny. He's more comedic. I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't agree with I don't agree with everything anybody says. So that's kind of pointless to say, but he's so funny. It's like lighthearted and it's still very masculine. It's still like he pierces through the bullshit. It's very good in that sense. So I can watch him and I like him, So it's like, yeah, that's why I do watch him, right? And I watch Michelle sometimes. I loved sometimes I like what she does, sometimes I don't as much. So I'm a little bit more like, but as far as bringing awareness to the issue and all that stuff, I think that she's one of the best. I would say the same for Obese to Beast. I think Obese to Beast and Michelle, they have done the best for bringing this issue to the mainstream. And they've probably done the most work that I've noticed, at least. And so I will give them their kudos. I would kiss the ring for that type of thing because they were doing it way before me, and I have to respect that, you know? Um, so that's kind of my take on that. I feel like you guys are trying to get me canceled. No, I'm just kidding. But love that you're having me like dish tea on like all the people right now. Or love that I'm doing it. I guess you're not really asking me to. I just am. Tess Holiday is literally on a weight loss journey right now, but she doesn't want to say, yeah. Yeah. I loved Michelle's video where she called out Tess. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I loved her video on glitter and lasers with the whole like the compliment was so dehumanizing. Loved her video on it. Yeah, Michelle is really good at making a video immediately to meme on a current event, such drama, bringing the entertainment value, even using costume props, a unique niche she made for herself. Yes. She's also very good at describing events. So she is kind of journalistic in a way that is good. She's very good at researching. She's charming. She's charismatic. She's fun. I mean, there's a lot of good there. Obviously, that's why she's successful. It's like, and I would think to a certain extent, Obese to Beast is kind of like the introverted version of Michelle. So they're kind of like two sides of the same coin. But I think they both care about the issue, and that's what matters to me. So, although there can be a grifty video here or there, I don't really judge. I think everybody has to make money, but it's like overall, I'm not gonna like hate on them all the time. You get what I'm saying? I'm not. I have respect there. And as far as like whoever Alan has helped, I respect what he's done. Alan actually does the work. Like he will be in the trenches. He trains people who are very fat. In my opinion, he's especially good with exercise for very fat people and educating people on that. I think that that's really important. And I think that kind of thing is, he does the work in that sense. And he does acknowledge hunger as an issue, which I think is a lot more than a lot of people will do. So again, I can give praise too, you know. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is personal choice. It's like personal preference, personal choice. Sam at Every Size and Kyla, they're really, really good at researching. They're very good at going in depth and very good at talking about social aspects of FA and that kind of stuff. Their commentary is really good on that. I like Sam's midline approach where she's not super harsh, but not super, she acknowledges that calories matter, for example, and she pushes that to a primarily very left-wing audience, which I think is good. And I think it's brave of her because it can be challenging in today's environment. So I think she has integrity. So again, I can give praise to pretty much anybody, but yeah. And I would say I'll give a little bit of praise of, oh my God, Mary. I'll give a little bit of praise for Megan Ann too. I think Megan Ann, she's very relatable. She can relate to people very well. She's very empathetic with FAs. She's extremely patient in that sense where she can talk about the most minute of things that the fat acceptance people talk about. And she's very like helpful to a left-wing audience. Again, she's inspired a lot of people to start losing weight and to feel more okay about it. So it's like I would never like want her to stop. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? But that's kind of how I see it. Like she's very good at bringing that message to the left, which is important. But my favorite is probably I love the Hidden Channel. I love the Hidden Channel. That's probably my favorite. So I love her. I love her channel so much. I love how she goes so in depth and I just love it. Yeah. I love that she'll bring up the research articles next to what they're saying. She'll break down every single one of her arguments, but she's my favorite. Absolutely. So anyways, I love that. Miriam, you're so bad. Miriam says, I think sound is so boring. OMG. I read it. I said it out loud. Alex, what are your wildest dreams and ideal when it comes to how you want your YouTube career to be? So YouTube career, I think there's two different splits of goals, right? So I have the activistic channel, which is my other channel. So that channel is probably always going to be my main one. And it's really important for me to make hypothyroidism a mainstream issue. I want to make seed oils a mainstream issue. I want to bring attention to these things. I want a lot of the things that I say on that channel to be mainstream and understood by most people, which that will take years, and I'm aware of that. So it is activistic in the sense of I want to change the conversation around obesity, get towards real solutions, and bring this issue to an end, which is my goal. So with that channel, that is my absolute goal. I am also working on a podcast. It does take time though, it's tricky, but the plan for the podcast is to have an entire body of work and research within the next few years. So I know that's a very long-term thing, but I have very long-term goals with my main channel. So a lot of activistic things in terms of that. So actually reaching solutions with this issue and maybe even different policy change way down the line. And that would be like looking at how our food is produced, things that should be changed, certain pesticides and things that maybe shouldn't be used or that are very harmful, plastics, right? Just a lot of different things that I worry about, but that's very long term. Okay. Like that is like in 15 years, we're going to be changing laws or something. That would be my goal. So, because I care about that kind of thing. But that's like a very, very long goal. So that channel, the goal is to change the conversation and get to a solution and bring an end to this issue. But on the other hand, I have my personal channel, which is this one. This one, I would want to do just live streams, gaming, having fun content, goofy content. It would be wonderful to make money off of this channel. Talking about Taylor Swift with Lisa, that kind of thing. I love that on this channel. So it's really just all those types of things for this channel. I love a personal channel. I love communicating with you guys, and it would be great to actually make money from it. But as far as how famous I want to be or how much, I don't know. As far as it will go, I don't care. There's no limit. It is what it is. Because I don't mind. I'm fine with having like over 1 million or something, or, I wouldn't mind. What did you say, laugh my ass off about? Oh, the fact that I read it. Yes, Alan Roberts is who I'm talking about. Yes, you're so smart, Saber. Oh my God. I wouldn't say Savior of the world. That will, in my mind and in my heart, that will always be Jesus Christ. But Christ-like, maybe, hopefully. And in terms of this issue, I think I'm in a unique position to help with this issue because I have YouTube experience. I'm not afraid to lose weight in public and all these different things. So it's like if I'm the bitch that can do it, then I need to do it. And that's what I'm doing. But part of my overall activism is to lose weight publicly. That's the phase that we're in now. Seed oils is such a crazy, huge issue, and it's amazing you're looking at the bigger picture instead of petty dramas. Thank you, Miriam. I appreciate that. I'm so glad, Miriam. I'm glad that you guys like it. I know Ba always is like, you need to go live, you need to go live. I really appreciate it because it helps. And Ba ends up getting what she wants because I'm live. Am I not? So, yeah. I feel like the topics you're getting at are so overlooked, and I feel like getting the ball rolling on discussing these things could hugely change our relationship to food as a society. Way overdue. Yes, I agree. I didn't bring the bucket, but I didn't. But yes, I agree. I completely agree. But those are very, very long-term goals. And short-term goals is just, I really want people to understand hypothyroidism and supermorbid obesity. I think that they're completely overlooked. I think people do not realize how ubiquitous hypothyroidism actually is. It's actually way more common because it can occur not just because of you're not producing, but it can also occur because your liver is fatty, and it can occur because your body is not properly absorbing the hormone. And they don't ever look at that. People don't ever look at that. So you can have all the symptoms, thinning hair, freezing hands, heart palpitations and stuff. You can have moon face and, all these different symptoms of hypo. And then people will be like, but I don't have it because I'm producing enough. And it's like, yeah, you're producing it, but it's not actually working in your body. Oh, hey, y'all. So you're still hypo. Yeah. And one of the biggest things that makes your body not absorb it properly or use it properly is seed oils and too high of PUFA consumption and having too high of estrogen. Because again, maybe your thyroid hormone is normal, but estrogen opposes thyroid. So if your estrogen is too high, then your thyroid hormone will not be strong. It will not work as well because estrogen is competing with it. So there's a lot of paths to hypothyroidism. So it's a lot more common than people think. So I need people to know about it, I need to share the bad news. Because the way that our diet is very hypo inducing. And not everybody has hypo, that's not true. But a lot of people do, and especially fat people. Especially. So yeah. Let me make sure that I have this the right way. But how are you doing, VL? Besides being systemically oppressive. But yeah, I found your comments interesting, VL, in terms of VL was saying that a lot of what I was describing was similar to alcoholism. And I think it's because a lot of alcohol is very estrogenic, which estrogen raises cortisol, cortisol raises serotonin. So a lot of the serotonin-y feelings can occur in a person that's an alcoholic. There is hormonal overlap, which is very interesting. And I thought that was an interesting, like an astute observation from VL that I appreciate because I've never been an alcoholic. Like I've never struggled with alcohol. So I didn't know. Imagine being hypo and trying to take your estrogen pills and your whole shit is going crazy and you're losing your mind and you're on, yeah. Well, you said it, Miriam. But yeah, I think it's very, yeah, I'll just say that kind of thing would not be healthy. Just because estrogen can cause cancer if it's too high. Estrogen can cause a lot of different things if it's too high, and a male body is not equipped to deal with estrogen. And it's similar with a female body is not equipped to deal with a lot of adrenaline. So it's interesting because people don't think about that. Like male bodies can deal with adrenaline so much better than female bodies. And female bodies can deal with estrogen so much better than adrenaline. So it's like, yeah, I would never suggest that. But I understand and I don't understand the trans issue completely. I can't say that I do. So I try not to talk about it because I'm not really an expert in that. And I just don't want to really talk about it usually because I just don't have anything to say. And I don't have anything personally against anybody who is trans. I have no contempt, not for just being trans. You know what I'm saying? I do know that it's less healthy to take hormones, but I'd rather a person be alive. So I don't know. But I am very much against transitioning children. So that is a huge no for me. Absolutely. But yeah, on a personal level with adults and stuff, it's not like I hate somebody for that. I don't. So I hope that made it clear. But there are health issues in regards to it. And I don't know if they tell people that. I think you'll begin to gain the attention of FAs as your weight loss success stays over time, becomes this irrefutable and self-evident truth. I agree. I agree in the sense that they're going to be very angry because I think they'll try to ignore it, but it's not bad enough. Like I haven't lost enough for it to be this like, you asshole level of jealousy. That hasn't occurred because I'm still small and I'm mid-fat. And a lot of them have probably lost weight, got to mid-fat, and then gained it back. So they're not surprised. But if I break into small fat, then I think it could be a huge issue. Then I think it could start to shift. And of course, from that point, the more you lose. And in their ideology, if I'm still fat, even as a small fat, I still have less privilege. So they'll be less scared to attack. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that is fat logic and it's fat acceptance logic. So I kind of know it's coming. I was more talking about stuff like the not giving a F kind of confidence that comes from self-destructive habits and how you were describing life after being super fat, like the identity thing, etc. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, though, is that there are hormonal bases for that, which is the serotonin aspect. So that is true. I would think that would be true in both. And the regret and that kind of thing, and you're thinking about how you acted, it is similar. I didn't think of it that way until you said that. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's true. I think it is very similar to feeling sober. You know, I call it leaving the hypo haze, but it's very similar because your brain just repairs. So you just start acting normal and then you feel ashamed. Yeah. No, but I would not become trans. I'm not trans. I don't have any issue with having a male body. I'm just very gay. Okay, extremely gay. And I hate it when trans people say being gay is a consolation. Blah, blah, blah. It is not a consolation. That is so homophobic. Those trans people are horrible when they say stuff like that. That is so homophobic, so gross and disgusting. It's not a consolation prize to me. I'm perfectly happy being gay. So I'm sure that would piss off a lot of people. I don't know why, but people get extra if you say that you're happy being gay. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being straight. If I would have been born straight, it would have been fine. But I'm not, and I'm fine. You know, it's fine. I accept it. I don't know. It's like whatever. And I'm not trans. I don't want to transition. I don't want to be trans. I'm just not. It's just not a vibe. It's not it for me. I have no issue with my body. I have no issue being male. I have no issue being super feminine and male and all that stuff. I think it's fine. It's just being very gay. If I'm being inappropriate, it's because I'm trying to get black. Oh my God. I would think about it for $20 million. Well, okay, Dylan Mulvaney. I'm just kidding. I've had 2 accounts on Twitter removed, and now it's like they know my devices and have. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. With Splotchmaker, it kills me to see how FA rhetoric completely numbs you to real introspection and nuanced thought and makes you think everything in these mantras and platitudes. Yes, I agree. I think it's also hypohaze because, as I've told you guys, it's a lot of very black and white thinking. And you tend to go for very, very simplistic heuristics in your mind. And I did experience that myself, not from a fat acceptance standpoint, but from other types of ideologies or different things. People view things very simplistically in the hypo haze. It's always like black and white, 100% this way, 100% that way, right? And that's kind of how she is. So you can see, and she has a mega, mega moon face, mega moon. She is so hypothyroid. You can see it on her face. It's wild. Have you guys seen Splotch's face? It's complete moon face. She has a full moon all the time. She is so hypo. But the thing is, like, because I almost died of hypo, I can see it in other people very easily because I know what to look for. And I'm like, yeah, she's hypo. But she's also vegan, and vegan makes you hypo. So I'm not surprised, you know? Like, you cannot be okay with your body, but not hate yourself and understand that people can be mean and cruel, and losing weight isn't giving into bullies. Mega moon. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying with that, Miriam. She's terrified of it. She's absolutely terrified. And to be honest, she probably has reasons to be, because she's so big and stuff. It could be a risk to her health. I think it's not as dangerous now. I had to worry about it myself when it first began because it was very risky, but it's not that risky anymore. It's changed. And I don't think she can accept that. So that is very interesting. I hadn't heard of the Juno Dawson quote. That's wildly heteronormative. I feel like it's an extreme statement made by someone to self-assure themselves about a permanent decision they made. Yeah, I agree with that, Bubble. And a lot of trans people feel that way. And it's like, I don't really care. Like, we don't all have to like each other, right? Just because somebody's gay or trans doesn't mean I have to like them. Like, I'm not that way. Like I said, I'm introverted. I don't like most people. So it's nothing special if I don't like you, It's like, okay, you're just another person, in the world. But I don't like that take at all. And I think it's just really disgusting. It's like disgustingly homophobic. That's how I can really describe it. There's no other way to say it. So I can't stand that. And yeah. So if you're a trans person that's like that, I don't think we would get along because I don't like that at all. But my only qualms is I worry about the health aspect. But like I said, I'd rather you be alive. Does that make sense? So it's like, I'd rather you be alive. Have you seen the most likely fake Marlowe Brothers drama? Okay, no problem, Miriam. No problem. I'm glad that you were here. We're switching topics anyways. So I don't think it's fake VL at all, but I guess we can kind of talk about it. I shouldn't. VL, you're gonna get me in trouble because people in that community are gonna go crazy if I talk about it. VL is trying to end me. He's trying to get me canceled. I feel like you guys are trying to get me canceled tonight. I'll just say I think it's real. That's what I'll say. I believe it's real. I feel so cryptic. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are even that interested in the Charlie T, but gosh. I don't want to be mean. Okay, fine. So, Charles' brother, VL, I hate you for making me talk about this. I hate you. I hate VL so much. But I understand. It's a relevant question. Let me choose my words. Okay. So I believe the relapse is real. So I think that is real. Um, I feel bad about the situation. I think it's awful. As always, I hope anybody gets their stuff together. I thought about commenting on it, but it's like, ugh, it's sad, but not completely unexpected. Does that make sense? And I just hope that he figures it out. Like I said, I think I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I hope, as long as you stay alive, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with people. It's like, I just want you to like be okay enough. Um, but yeah, I see what you're saying with that VL. Like, it's sad. It's very sad because I think he was sober for a lot of years. Oh my God, Bubble. I don't think there is astrological. I will just say there is some astrological aspect, which is funny you bring that up, but I don't think it has to do with the relapse. I think it has to do with the relationship. And I think that because Pluto is changing signs, it's going from Capricorn to Aquarius, especially last year, there was a sort of desperation to hitch yourself to something that may not work out or that is like not necessarily going to last. So that's what I would say. But that's more about the relationship in my opinion, because they were like, we're going to get married and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I don't really think they are. I don't think it's going well, that kind of stuff. I think it was just like a random thing that they both decided. And I think that it's probably not going to work out. That's my opinion. They can prove me wrong, whatever. It's their life. I have nothing against their relationship. I really don't. I don't really watch the channels that much or anything, but that's just the astrological background I would give to the situation. I think Charlie is really wanting it to work because she has money. And I think that he felt like there's some security in that, or that she's ambitious and he wants to be with somebody ambitious. Like Charlie is ambitious, but he needs support in his ambition. So I think that he was just very, very desperate, or he's very desperate to make it work. And I think that desperation and that toxicity, like he was very, very quick to attack me last fall because he is so scared that I was going to say something or do something that would ruin the relationship. But I wasn't going to do that because I'm not, I don't know. I literally had gone through like a devastating breakup last year. Like, I'm not going to wish that on anybody. You get me? I'm not going to wish it on anyone. But there is still like the likely outcome, you know? So I don't know. I'm trying to be diplomatic with this, but yeah, I think like he was just so scared. It's like sometimes you're so scared of losing somebody that you can manifest it. And I think that that's kind of what is happening on his end. I don't know her, so I don't talk about her because I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. I understand people have takes about her. I know people that like her. I know people that hate her. I don't know her, so I don't comment on her. But I know Charlie. So, yeah. Um, I don't know if they're just trolling VL. Like, I think Andrew did do it to call it out. A lot of people think he's just doing it for clout or views or whatever, but Charlie is not that famous. So I think it's sadly a bit more personal than that. But yeah, that's my takes. And I can kind of understand because I've had addiction in my family. So I understand, you reach a point where you feel like your head is up against the wall, or you feel like you banged your head against the same wall, that you're willing to try anything. You're just willing to try anything. And so Andrew is trying to do public shame because that has worked in the past with Charlie. And whether people support it or not, I understand why you would, why you wouldn't. I get both sides. But it's really just about, like, he just wants his brother to be sober. And that's the sad reality of it. And people don't always think about that, because it's different. Like, if Charlie's not your family, if Charlie's just somebody you watch online, it doesn't bother you that he relapsed. But if he's your brother, then it's really bothersome. Okay, well, you can think that for sure. Like I said, I think anybody can think anything. I don't completely agree with you. I don't really agree. I think that the whole, like, his weird rehab content, that was a troll, obviously. But in terms of, like, Andrew calling him out, I don't think that was a troll. That's my opinion. But that's my opinion. And again, I'm looking at it as a person that, my dad is an addict. And so I kind of know what that type of thing is like. And I think it would be especially hard if my dad had gone through years of being sober and then relapsing, and years of being sober and then relapsing. Like, it's almost even more devastating. And so, yeah, like, my dad was just never sober, right? Like, he would say he changed, but it would be done within a few months. But if he had gone like 5 years or 4 years and then relapsed, it would have been devastating. So I think it's still devastating to Andrew and his dad, because you have a lot of hope. A lot of stuff is restored during those years, and then it's shattered. It's devastating. And again, that's from a family aspect. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I think no matter what, I don't think there's anybody that is like, I mean, maybe there are some people, I don't know. I wouldn't think there's anybody that's really happy about him relapsing. I think that that's not good. Um, but maybe there are, I don't know, but it isn't me. So that's all I can say. Yeah, I agree. I agree that the trolling is weird. With that aspect, I think they were trying to make humor out of a real life situation, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, right? Um, but yeah, I think it's sad. So that's kind of my take. So VL got my take out of me. VL's gonna get me in the tabloids now. I'm just kidding. VL's gonna get me in trouble. This stream, everybody's trying to get me canceled in this stream. I should have called this stream "Everyone's Trying to Cancel Me." I'm just kidding. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I don't really want to be canceled, but I'm just saying, like, it's fine to ask these questions. Like, I get why Abiel's asking, and I think it's a relevant question. But yeah, it's not going to be necessarily him, but it could be other people in his audience, and then they'll tell him. Does that make sense? I'm going to be on the front page of the tabloids, yes. At least in the Marlowe-verse tabloids. It's kind of a small world, But yeah, that's kind of my take. It's just get sober. Get sober, Charlie. That's about it. Stay sober. That's my take. Anyways. Should I scoot? Should I scoot bot, or is it too early? Use it to its worth. Oh my God. I don't know. I think it's sad, but it's like there's always a lot of drama with him. So it's like it's been a lot of years of that kind of thing, but I don't have any hate in my heart for him. Does that make sense? So my favorite color is red. My favorite candy is probably Sour Patch Kids, which Caleb showed me that he got Sour Patch Kids in South Africa, and I was shocked. I was like, really? So he found some. Biel's like, I need more tea. I need more tea and more hate. No, but I am going to have to go soon. I'm going to give Bot a warning. So I'm going to give you a 10-minute warning, Bot, because I am going to have to go because I have to work tomorrow and I have to work kind of early the next few days. But I'll give you 10 minutes. Now I kind of want Sour Patch Kids. I know I haven't done warnings in a while. It's time. Any other questions, VL, to get me even more in trouble? I feel like I've spilled a lot of tea during this episode. I'm like, I wonder if I should change the title to something else, but it's okay. I'll just leave it. At least Charlie isn't doing the business shirt conspiracy in Wall Street content. Is he doing anything? Is he posting still? Oh, nice. Nice, Celtic. I don't really like gorillas so much. I'm not like a major animal lover. Like, I'm just not. I love cats, though. I don't hate animals. So, yeah. I don't hate animals. I just don't love them. I'm not like a lover, I don't know. Like, I'm neutral. Like, I think they're pretty or whatever, right? But it's like I don't need to. I don't know. Like last year when there was a dead possum in our driveway, it was scarring. I'm sorry. And I think possums are gross. Like I was horrified. And it had like flies all in its mouth. Ugh. Gosh, it was so gross. I couldn't handle it. And I was so serotonin-y last year. Like I couldn't handle it. Like it disgusted me. Like I was like gnashing my teeth thinking about it. And me and my mom both did not want to deal with it. And so it was there for a while. And I think we were both hoping that something would just like come up and eat it. And it never happened. And it was just so scarring. It smelled really bad. But I couldn't handle it. My serotonin was so strong. Like I was so disgusted. No. I was never like vegan. I just did the vegan diet and it was horrible. I was starving. Starvation diet. Absolutely starving. Could never get satiated. Ever. But I never was like, I'm doing it for the animals. Like I don't feel that way about animals. I just don't. And one of the times I was vegan, like I did a vegan diet, I craved meat so bad that I literally was like, I will hunt right now. Like legitimately. And I was looking at an animal. I was looking at a wallaby in Australia. So random. Because I was in Australia. And I think I hadn't eaten meat in 3 weeks or something like that. And I looked at the wallaby in its eyes and I was like, my literal thought was, this is just a dumb animal. I'm not going to suffer for a dumb animal. That was basically, my view of it. Like, so any of the ethical stuff with vegans, it has never worked for me. I have never felt that way because I just don't see it the same. I don't know, Like they act like an animal is a human being. I just think that that's really stupid. So I don't view it that way at all. Um, so anyways, Bot is really trying to get me canceled tonight. Super canceled. But the time that I did veganism the longest was 2017. And it preceded basically almost a year of binging because I did it for about 8 weeks. And then I did it for 4 weeks one more time in 2018. That was when I knew Charlie, and it was the worst decision ever. It like made my situation so much worse. So, yeah, I would never suggest it. Wallabies are one of my favorite animals. I have had a lot of close contact with wild ones, and yes, they are stupid. It was just the vacant stare, you know? It was the stare of vacancy. Like I looked into its eyes and there was nothing there. And again, I was craving meat so bad. Like, I just think we're supposed to eat meat. I'm sorry. I know that that really upsets people, but it's like, it's just a reality. And I think you're not going to be as healthy if you don't eat meat. It's just not it. And people get upset and they have a problem and they're like, oh my gosh, why are you saying that? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, there's literal stuff. It affects your hormones. It makes you hypo. I did scoot again. It does all these problems. It's not a healthy diet. It just isn't. I think it's, in some ways, it's even worse for women because women need a lot of iron. And it's not everybody can absorb non-heme iron. So it's like a lot of women that are vegan, they are extremely anemic. Very anemic. And the ancestor to whales literally walked on land before it started. She's going to only swim in the ocean. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't eat a human, but I mean, I don't know if it was like a survival situation. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't think I would kill somebody to eat them. I just think that that's too unethical. But if they died, then maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is a really weird conversation, but it would be an extremely survivalistic context. Okay, like extremely survivalistic. So I'm talking like we're all gonna starve to death, right? But I would never choose that ever. It's not healthy, I don't think. I think it's actually unhealthy for one, and it's unethical. So, jeez. Gosh. Love that I'm sitting here giving a breakdown of like why I wouldn't eat a person. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Boss has me fucked up tonight. Oh my god. Yeah, we're not gonna do any Illuminati activities here. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I'm tired. Yes, I do. I do believe in it, but it's just a secret society. I think it's mostly in Hollywood or in the industry, like music industry, actors, right? That kind of thing. It's like a secret society. So it's kind of like it's like a fraternity or something. And they all kind of support each other. And then they push certain agendas and stuff. And then there is a lot of occult in it too. And stuff like that. But I do believe in it, yes. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm tired. But has he fucked up? We got 1 minute. You got one more question, but one more question. One more thing to get me canceled over. What do you got? I do have to pee, actually. I do. I should do ASMR, you guys. I'm just kidding. I can't do ASMR because as you see, I just talk about a bunch of issues and problems all the time. So it was like I tried, but it never worked. I haven't done one of these in a long time. This makes me feel like 2022 when I'm giving a countdown. Oh, I like the Black Eyed Children urban legend. I think that one's really interesting. Oh my gosh. Then the Illuminati reaches out. Oh my god. I would not join because it's not very Christian-y. I know, Bubble. Okay, guys. So we made it. I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for making this fun. I won't be live for a while probably. Because even if I do have time when I'm working a lot, I'm probably just going to film for my main. But we'll be back at some point. I'm always back on here. I always come back. This channel is like the D and I'm like a whore. So I always come back. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye.